Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Jake Brady. This is a deck tech on Mishra. Mishra? Eminent one. I am so looking forward to the Brothers War precons. I absolutely love artifacts. My first precon was an artifact deck. The first deck I actually built myself was an artifact deck. I love them. This set is going to be heavy artifacts. So I'm just so excited. But let's get into it. Starting off simple, these are the Planeswalkers I'll probably be running in the deck. It's going to be Doretti, Scrap Savant, Karn, the Great Creator, and Tezzeret, Master of the Bridge. Alright, so the first Planeswalker, Doretti, he gives you card advantage. I forgot if it was looting or scavenging. I don't remember which it is. To discard up to 2 cards, and you draw that many cards. This could be a lot of card advantage. It was in my precon. I had the Osgir precon. This Planeswalker did work. And if you could get his -10 off, which I have once in my whole Magic career, it was absolutely disgusting with Osgir. It was nasty. Next, Karn the Great Creator. Now, this one is really good. Let me tell you why. First off, when you get him on the battlefield, activated abilities of artifacts your opponent's control can't be activated. So there's Soul Rings, Arcane Signets, they can't do that. So that's already amazing. And his +1 makes non-creature artifacts creatures until your next turn. So basically, it is another Mishra Eminent one. So this is actually really good if you're swinging. If you want to do a vehicle deck, I have a couple vehicles in this deck, but if you want to specifically do vehicles, then that'll be really good. Next, Tezzeret. Tezzeret by himself is crazy. First off, he gives creatures and planeswalkers you have affinity for artifacts. I mean, you're going to be having a lot of artifacts. That's just what it is. And then when you +2 him, you deal damage to each opponent equal to the number of artifacts you have. Usually when you cast this and you do that +2, you have roughly 8 or 9 artifacts down. So each opponent is taking 8 damage and you're gaining 8 every turn. Like, this has to be dealt with. Because if not, your next turn, put a couple more artifacts down and taking 10 damage. So this, for your opponents, is already, yeah. Now, a couple of creatures I want to run. Number 1, Arkham Daxon. This literally is amazing. Because when you have your 4/4 artifact creature down with Mishra and you have to sacrifice it at the end of your turn, instead, you can sacrifice with Arkham Daxon and you can get any non-creature artifact from your deck onto the battlefield. That is amazing because you're going to be having a bunch of non-creature artifacts because that's what this deck loves to run. Also, another way is Braids. You can sacrifice your artifacts and you can turn that into card advantage in your end step. So before the Mishra ability goes on the stack at the end of your turn where you have to sacrifice a 4/4 construct, you turn that into Braids, and it's possible card advantage. And then obviously you're running your obvious artifact cost reducers, Ethereum Sculptor, Foundry Inspector, and Enthusiastic Mechanaut. I'm sorry if I sound weird. I am a little sick. I can hear myself. It's horrible. You're also running a couple of Joyra cards. Weatherlight Captain, this is whenever you cast an artifact, card advantage. It's great. Joyra Ageless Innovator. This is really good to cheat out some of those more expensive non-creature artifacts or creature artifacts. It's just as artifact card. It's a new card that came out in Dominaria, and I think it'll be really good for this deck because it's only a 2-drop. And then obviously Joyra's Familiar is another cost reducer. Then moving on, you have your, I don't know, your ping effects, Reckless Fireweaver, Disciple of the Vault, and Marionette Master. So when those 4/4 artifact creatures go into the graveyard, you get to start dealing damage to each opponent. And for sure, we're running Mishra Claimed by Gix and Phyrexian Dragon Engine because they meld together to make Mishra Lost to Phyrexia, I believe. It is a 9/9 creature that does like 3-4 things every time you attack or it enters. It's going to be nasty. It's like the Urza Planeswalker. This thing is going to be awesome to use. All right, and now we get to the 3 MVPs of the deck. I believe these cards will win you the game. It is Sundial the Infinite or Obeka, one of those two. That effect to end the turn, so you get to save those 4/4 creatures. Then you move on to Reaver Titan. Reaver Titan, this is what you want. This is like, if you can make copies of this and attack, there's a possibility that you can basically win the turn, or win the game on that turn. Like those two, like Karn, the great creator in this, you can get around the crew and make it an artifact creature. And then Mishra Eminent one, you get to make another copy of it. So it'll be like amazing. Also, a shout, this card, I only just learned about this card. It is absolutely disgusting. This card will win you the game if you have Reaver Titan without Summoning Sickness. Masterful Replication. Oh my god. 5 colorless, a blue. Choose target artifact you control. Each other artifact you control becomes a copy of that artifact till end of turn. Like, you can Karn, make him a creature. Actually, Masterful Replication, since it's an instant, you can cast it with Mishra at the beginning of combat when you make him an artifact creature. Then each one of your artifacts become him, Reaver Titan, until end of turn. So then you move to attacks and just attack. All you need is 8 artifacts, because it deals 5 damage. 8 times 4 is 40. Boom. But it's going to be some farther in the game, so it should cost, you shouldn't need to have that many artifacts. You shouldn't need to be able to deal that much damage. But this will win you the game. That's a combo right there. I want to try. I literally found out about it not too long ago, and it's amazing. All right. That was the second MVP. The third MVP is Gonti's Aether Heart. Oh my god. Artifact fans have always been trying to find a way to make this go infinite. And Mishra has done that. This card has shot up in price like no other. You see, this is how the combo works. You need to have Mishra on, and you need to have Gonti's on the battlefield. Boom. At the beginning of combat, you copy Gonti's. So that enters. You already have 4 energy because the other one entered and this one entered. All you would need to do is play one more artifact. Because you play another artifact, then you get 2 energy from one and 2 energy from the other. And boom, that's already, you exile the token, get an extra turn. Another way to get an extra turn, Ugin's Nexus. Now this, oh my god, this on the battlefield with Mishra, boom. It becomes a 4/4, and since it's a legendary artifact, it doesn't get copied because it's a construct worker. So the legend rule doesn't apply. And then at the end of your turn, you get to exile it, or when it gets sacrificed, the token, you get to exile it instead and take an extra turn. And you can keep doing that each and every turn and have an infinite number. Oh my god, you can have an infinite number of turns. It just clicked in my head. Because I'm just going off the top of my head of what cards. Wow. Alright, and the last 2 things I want to shout out here is Aggravated Assault and Determined Iteration. Aggravated Assault this is a very expensive card. It is $40. You don't have to put it in. I'm just saying, let me show you how this card will be amazing. Boom, you have it down. You have Mishra down. You copy one of your artifacts. You pay this. You get another combat. You get to copy another artifact. And every time you pay that, you get more combats, more things to copy. And a Sundial the Infinite or Becca Brute Chronologist down, you can keep all these creatures and all these artifacts. Like, that is amazing. One more shout, because I keep forgetting things. Kodotha Forge Master. This card will go in any artifact deck I will ever make in my life. This has gotten me absurd things before, like Blight Seals and stuff. You sacrifice 3 artifacts, tap it, get any artifact from your library onto the battlefield. You can sacrifice the 4/4 token that Mishra makes. Like, you can sacrifice itself, and then boom, one more, maybe an artifact land, Blight Seal, if you want to run Blight Seal. This for sure. Last shout. The video ends after I say this. I know it for sure. I keep forgetting things. I'm doing this off the top of my head. Now, this has been one of my favorite combos in an artifact deck. Mycosynth Lattice. Oh my god, this card is very expensive, but when you pair this with Vandalblast, you literally wipe everything off your opponent's board. Everything. Mycosynth Lattice makes everything on the battlefield an artifact. And then when you Vandalblast and you overload, you destroy each artifact you don't control. And if everything's an artifact, you destroy everything other than your stuff. Also, I lied. This is one of the last thing. Another thing, Mycosynth Lattice, thought of another combo. Mycosynth Lattice makes everything an artifact. Boom, Masterful Replication. If everything's an artifact, let's say you have a disgusting creature down. Boom, every permanent on your board becomes that artifact until end of turn. And you swing out, you win. Boom. That's simple. I am so excited for this deck. I cannot wait. I am going to build both Urza and Mishra, and it's going to be a blast. As soon as I get them and I build them, I will be making videos on me playing with them on Commander Spell Table, so look out for those. Other than that, I just built 2 more decks. I built a Minsk and a Boo, and I also built an Avis and Stacks. So if you like to see those videos, I can make deck techs on both of them. I will put this Mishra deck tech in the description below. I built it on Moxfield. I'm gonna make it public so everybody can see. You don't have to specifically copy the deck that I built. You can obviously put your own spin on it, which is you're entitled to do so. Like, I didn't put many expensive lands in because I don't really like spending a bunch of money on fetch lands. Like, the most expensive thing I have is probably, well, an Urza Saga, because I had it. I pulled it out of Modern Horizons and Academy Ruins. But obviously, I would love you guys to put your own spin on it. And if there's any combos I'd missed, I'd love to hear them in the comments. I'm always learning. I love learning about Magic. Other than that, it was a pleasure to bring you this deck tech. And I'll see you guys in the next video.